Tonight you're going to order dinner without thinking twice. You'll pick something warm, something soft, something that took someone else 5 minutes to cook. But the real answer to what your body was built to eat is far stranger than anything on that menu. Picture a caveman gnawing on a giant slab of mammoth meat. Big muscles, big steak. Simple story. It's mostly wrong. For millions of years, the human diet wasn't built around meat. It was built around plants, insects, and an enormous amount of chewing. Anthropologist Catherine Milton spent years studying wild primates in the rainforests of Central and South America. She found that even chimpanzees, your closest living relatives, spend most of their day eating fruit, leaves, and bark. Meat is rare, a treat, not a foundation. So why do you crave meat so much today? Because something changed the entire equation. Raw plants are brutal to digest. Your gut has to work overtime to pull calories out of raw leaves and roots. Chimpanzees deal with this by chewing for up to 6 hours a day. Humans don't have 6 hours to spare. Something had to give. That something was cooking. Primatologist Richard Wrangham proposed what's now called the cooking hypothesis. He argues that fire, not meat, is what made your oversized brain possible. Cooking breaks down tough plant fibers and unlocks calories raw digestion could never reach. It softens meat, cutting the energy cost of chewing dramatically. Wrangham calculated that a purely raw diet, even raw meat, couldn't have supplied enough energy to grow a brain like yours. Cooking changed the math. Once fire entered the picture, your ancestors extracted more calories in less time. Hours once spent chewing were suddenly free. Free for foraging further, free for socializing, free for thinking. Fire didn't just change what your ancestors ate, it changed who they became. But here's the twist inside the twist. Long before fire was fully mastered, your ancestors were already eating things you'd never guess. Archaeologist Amanda Henry examined fossilized dental plaque from Neanderthal teeth. Trapped inside it were microscopic starch grains from cooked grasses, roots, and tubers, tens of thousands of years earlier than anyone expected. Neanderthals weren't one-note carnivores. They were opportunists. So were you, whether you know it or not. In summer, that meant berries and insects, a dependable protein-rich staple far easier to catch than a running animal. In autumn, nuts and roots dug out with sharpened sticks. In winter, when plants vanished, meat and fat became survival itself. This is why your body doesn't crave one food group. It craves variety. Fat when it's cold, sugar when energy runs low, salt when you're depleted. Your cravings aren't glitches. They're ancient survival software, still running in the background of every grocery run. And here's what breaks the whole myth wide open. There was never one true ancestral diet. Populations near the Arctic survived almost entirely on fat and meat. Populations near the equator lived on fruit, tubers, and insects. No single formula. Just constant adaptation to whatever the land provided. So what does this mean for you? Standing in front of a refrigerator stocked with more choice than your ancestors saw in a lifetime. It means your body is running ancient code inside a completely modern environment. The craving for fried fat, the reward of sugar, the pull towards salt. None of it evolved with a vending machine in mind. Your instincts are ancient. Your environment is not. You might assume the answer is to eat exactly like a hunter-gatherer, strip everything modern away, and chase some pure original diet. But Milton, Wrangham, and Henry all point to the same truth. There was no purity to return to, only flexibility. A species that survived not by finding one perfect food, but by eating almost anything the world offered. That flexibility is still inside you. So tonight, when you order dinner without thinking twice, you're doing exactly what your ancestors always did. Adapting, choosing, eating whatever the landscape has decided to offer. The only difference is that landscape no longer has seasons. It has delivery apps. And somewhere underneath all that convenience, your body is still quietly hoping that whatever you're about to eat is exactly what it needs to survive one more day.